Boys and girls, welcome to Faces in Heels, your podcast for professional wrestling here on the KB Radio Network. I am your host, Kevin Reed. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. I hope that you enjoyed your Thanksgiving weekend, which will be capped off in a Thanksgiving tradition. The weekend following Thanksgiving Survivor Series, brought to us by the good folks over there at WWE. This is a premium live event that is one of my favorite premium live events that WWE puts on. Of course, there's WrestleMania, there's the Royal Rumble, there's Money in the Bank, all those good premium live events that they put on. Survivor Series was always kind of a sneaky good one that I always enjoyed. But once they incorporated War Games into Survivor Series, it really, really became like one of my favorites because of the potential, because of the matches, the way that they construct these matches for this premium live event is nothing short of amazing. I haven't seen a bad War Games match yet. Since WWE acquired this match. Of course, we all know that this match originated back in WCW. I think in the late 80s, it was created by the great Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream himself. And this was his idea to have these two steel cages surrounding two rings. And it was amazing the way that it was constructed, or at least how the match is formatted, that you have these two teams, similar to Survivor Series, two teams enter in, and the match doesn't officially start till all of the participants enter these two rings. And it's pure chaos. it's sheer chaos, and I love it. It is beautifully constructed. And so once WWE gained control of the rights for this match, and it started off in NXT, which, during the black and gold era of NXT, which is the best era of NXT, they had some 5-star matches come out of those War Game matches, and moved over to the main roster. I would say maybe one was kind of like all right, but the rest of them been pretty good. This year, I am super excited for what we have in store. Survivor Series War Games, which will take place Saturday, November the 30th from Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. This is a premium live event that will take place on Peacock and on pay-per-view. If you don't have Peacock, this is going to be, in the words of JR, a slobber knocker. We have 5 matches that are currently set for this premium live event. Of course, we have the men's War Game match, which consists of the Bloodline, or the New Bloodline, or Solo's Bloodline, however you want to quantify it. But those members are Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Tonga Loa, as well as Bronson Reed, who just recently joined forces with the Bloodline. They will be taking on the original Bloodline, the OG Bloodline, the original tribal chief of Roman Reigns, the Usos, who just got back together, Jay and Jimmy, Sami Zayn, the honorary Usos. He has returned to the Bloodline. And just this past week on SmackDown, with the return of Paul Heyman, CM Punk. And this is going to be a good one. Along with that match, we have a singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship. Gunther defending his championship against Damian Priest. We have the women's War Games match, which consists of Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and Bayley taking on the team of the Judgment Day, which is Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. We have a triple threat match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship. Braun Breaker defends that championship against Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser, and a singles match for the WWE United States Championship, where L.A. Knight, defends that United States Championship against a returning Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah, this is a nice card for this premium live event. I am super excited. Every match I want to see. The only one I'm not like over the moon excited for would probably be the triple threat. But even though I know it's going to be some hard hitting, big men slapping meat type of action in that match, it's not one that I'm super excited for. This is a match that I can probably watch on Raw and be just as satisfied. At least that's what I'm going in thinking. I could be pleasantly surprised by the end of it. At least I hope so. So let's break down each match and give the final predictions going into this Saturday's premium live event in no particular order, because I don't know the match order. This is what I think the match order will be. And so let's start off with the United States Championship match between LA Knight and Shinsuke Nakamura. This pretty much began about 2-3 weeks ago on SmackDown after LA Knight successfully defended his United States Championship on that show. He was jumped from behind and brutally attacked by a returning Shinsuke Nakamura, who would attack Knight once again the following week on SmackDown after he successfully defended his title again. And so that prompted this match to be sanctioned for Survivor Series War Games. As far as this match is concerned, I'm excited for it because I'm happy to see Shinsuke Nakamura back. You know, it's been, my God, it's been about a year, maybe even longer, since Shinsuke has had a match in WWE. It's been so long. I had forgot that he was even here in WWE. It's been a minute. So him coming back as this heel and just demolishing LA Knight is a perfect return. The problem I have, I don't think it's going to go the way I want it to go. I want Shinsuke Nakamura to win, and I'm a huge fan of LA Knight and his capturing of the United States Championship, because he needed a scrap. He really didn't need it because he was over without the belt, but it was good that they finally put some gold around him. But let's be honest, his little reign as United States champion hasn't been all that exciting. You know, it hasn't really popped. And I think LA Knight needs to move on to bigger, better things, you know, possibly the World Heavyweight Championship, you know, if he move over to Raw. And I say that because I don't see him going for the WWE Championship or being a serious contender for that, even though I would like to see a match between him and Cody, but I don't think they will put it on him, to be honest with you. But I can see him getting the World Heavyweight Championship. Now that I think about it, maybe not, because he'll have to take it off of Gunther, and I don't think that'll happen either. But we shall see. But I want Shinsuke to win because he's been gone so long, and before he was gone, it was like kryptonite. He could not win a belt. He could not win nothing, man. Even after winning the Royal Rumble, having this feud with AJ Styles for the longest, and even wrestling AJ Styles for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania a few years back. I was at that one, saw that one live. I was excited. The match didn't deliver the way I wanted it to, but whatever. He just could not capture the goal, and he hasn't in his whole duration on the main roster. He was awesome at NXT, but that's a lot of performers who was on NXT set the world on fire, got on the main roster, and it kind of just went away. But I want to see Shinsuke with that scrap, or are we going to stretch this out to be somewhat of a feud, have a best of three type thing, or whatever? I don't know, but my prediction for this match, the singles match for the WWE United States Championship, I'm gonna go ahead and say Shinsuke Nakamura will defeat LA Knight and become the new WWE United States Champion. Because even if LA Knight don't move on, this can still spark a feud between these two, have a program stretching out to maybe, heck, it could go as far as WrestleMania, past the Royal Rumble. Who knows? We'll see. But we need to have something moving, because the United States Championship little bubble there has not delivered as far as excitement level since LA Knight has gotten the belt. He hasn't had a real feud. He hasn't had nobody to really come at him. He's had some defenses, but nothing that you can say is a feud. And I think this can spark a big feud going back and forth between him and Shinsuke for a couple of months here, leading up to WrestleMania season. So our next bout is the triple threat match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship between Bron Breakker, Sheamus, and Ludwig Kaiser. This one, as I mentioned a little while ago, is not on my top 5 list on in this card. This is probably the low, the least anticipated, if I had to put a label on it, of the night, but it has potential to being a good match. This kind of feud sparked off once again a couple of weeks ago on Raw, when Bron Breakker defended the Intercontinental Championship against Sheamus. And he defeated him, of course, but during the match, Ludwig Kaiser, he was already in a feud with Sheamus for the past few months. He attacked Bron Breakker, which pretty much caused it caused the disqualification for Breakker to retain the championship. So the following week, Bron Breakker had faced Ludwig Kaiser in a 9-title match, and it ended in a disqualification. And after Sheamus got involved and attacked him, so insanity ensued in a brawl between those three competitors, prompted the general manager of Raw, Adam Pearce, to schedule Bron Breakker to defend the title against both Sheamus and Kaiser in a triple threat match at Survivor Series Raw Games. So here we are with this. One of the reasons, I have a few reasons why this one is not super exciting. It's not because of the competitors. All three competitors are awesome. Bron Breakker is pretty much the future, or one of the cogs in the wheel of the future in the WWE. Bron Breakker has all the intangibles. He is it. He is the guy, man. I have nothing bad to say about Bron Breakker. Plus, if I say anything bad, he scares me to death. So I don't want to say nothing bad. But the dude is amazing in the ring. His promo skills are getting even better. I mean, everything about him is cool. The problem I have, he just won that belt back. He just got it back from Jey Uso a couple of weeks back. So why are we going to have this triple threat match and you want me to believe that he's going to lose it again? I don't buy that. To be honest with you, I didn't buy him losing it to Jey. And I like Jey, but I didn't buy that, because up to that point, Bron Breakker was pretty much a Walmart great value version of Brock Lesnar, who is unstoppable. He's an unstoppable human being. And as cool as Jey is, as charismatic as Jey is, I didn't believe Jey would beat Bron Breakker, but he did. All right, that's fine. But it kind of sullies that when he ended up losing it back. I don't even think it was a month later. So, eh. But with that being said, I don't see him losing this. Sheamus done everything he can do in the WWE. He has nothing else to prove. Sheamus is a first ballot Hall of Famer in WWE. He's done it all. He's fought them all. I mean, what else? I would rather see him and Pete Dunne go at it at this premium live event than him be in this feud or be in this triple threat match. And with that being said, Pete Dunne probably is going to pop up and cost him in this match because that feud hadn't went anywhere either. They not finished with that. And so you got to throw that in there. Ludwig Kaiser, he is one who I can see taking the belt off of Braun Breaker. I would actually enjoy that, to be 100% honest with you, but just not now. Not right now. But Ludwig Kaiser, he does need to break off a little more, kind of separate himself from Gunther, and show that he is a threat as well. Not only a threat for the Intercontinental Championship, but he can be a threat to actually take the belt off of his Imperium stablemate, Gunther, which is a possibility, which would be awesome. So you want to build him up a little more. I don't know if this will be the moment to pull that trigger, but me personally and my thoughts regarding this triple threat match for the WWE Intercontinental Championship, Braun Breaker will retain that championship when he defeats Ludwig Kaiser and Sheamus at Survivor Series War Games. I don't see a scenario where Braun Breaker loses. With that being said, he's probably going to lose because every time I'm telling you, every time I'm confident and can say it with my whole chest, it always happens. In this one here, I feel it with my whole chest that Braun Breaker is going to win. I have my doubts about every other match we're going to predict here tonight, but this one I'm 100% confident in, and I bet you Ludwig Kaiser wins. And so I'm gonna put an asterisk by it. So when it happens and we do the recap episode, I can say that I'm right still. But I think Braun Breaker will come out victorious in this match. Let's move on to Ludwig Kaiser's stablemate as Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion, defends that championship against Damian Priest. Now, Damian Priest was formerly the World Heavyweight Champion. He lost it to Gunther, and he had to go through a fatal four-way match to earn that rematch for the title. This is after Damian Priest has, pretty much ended his feud with Finn Balor, allegedly, and now he's back on focus to regain the championship that he lost, that Finn Balor cost him in the first place, which I always felt that was a little backwards. He should have been focusing on getting that belt back instead of trying to get his revenge on Finn Balor, but whatever, we're getting it in reverse order. We'll take it. I don't know. I don't know about this. This is it didn't have a real good build up to this match. Gunther and Damian Priest, they had their promos. Now, I will say this, Damian Priest cut probably one of his best promos I've ever heard him give. What was it, 2 weeks ago on Raw? It was a heck of a promo that he cut on Gunther. I actually enjoyed that. But as far as the build, it just didn't get there with me. But I'm excited for the match. Number one, because it's Gunther. Gunther can wrestle a phone book for 22 minutes, and I'm going to be on the edge of my seat. Gunther can make it work with anyone, and make that match 4 to 5 stars. The dude is phenomenal. phenomenal. And Damian Priest has gotten much better. And I've always liked Damian Priest, stemming back to NXT. I always liked him. But him being in this top guy position that he's been in for the past year, it's been kind of weird. But for the most part, he's held his own. Yeah, we can make the argument he had a few botches as champion. When he had that match. Oh Lord, who was it? Who was he defending against? Was it Seth? It was Seth and somebody else. He had on Premium Live Event. He had some botch matches that was like, oh my God, man, you gotta step your game up. You gotta step your game up. But I mean, look, nobody's perfect. All of them that messed up every now and then. But he has gotten better. He has really gotten better. His mic skills, everything. I'm enjoying his work, but I don't think it will be enough to defeat Gunther. My prediction for this singles match for the World Heavyweight Championship, Gunther will retain his championship. I don't think Damian Priest will be the one to, dethrone Gunther at this moment. I don't think. It feels like WWE is building up to something involving him or who he's going to take on, going into WrestleMania season. I don't know who that's going to be. I remember before the whole brouhaha with Brock Lesnar, they were kind of laying the seeds for that. Now, I don't know if Brock Lesnar will come back or is coming back anytime soon. But if he is coming back soon, I would imagine it's going to be to face Gunther. That's the only thing left for Brock Lesnar. There's nothing else. What, we're going to go back to the bloodline well again? That doesn't make sense. They're infighting right now. And so incorporating him into that storyline makes no sense. And so the only thing left for Brock Lesnar would be Gunther. And that would be an epic WrestleMania main event or co-main event or one of the nights. Oh my God, would I watch that? Would I watch it? Yeah, that would be awesome. But I don't know what else is left for him. But at this time, I think Gunther will retain his championship. So that's it for our singles matches for the Premium Live event. We are on to our two War Games matches. Beginning first with the ladies, the women's War Games match, which consists of Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Io Sky, and Bayley versus Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Nia Jax, Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae. Now, the women's War Games match, this stems, it goes further than Bad Blood, but we'll start at Bad Blood because we'll be here till Christmas going over all of the feuds in this match. But at Bad Blood, we know that Liv Morgan defeated Rhea Ripley via disqualification for the Women's World Championship when Raquel Rodriguez returned and attacked Rhea Ripley during the match. And a couple of weeks later on NXT, Rhea Ripley was attacked by Liv Morgan and Raquel and at the Performance Center or whatever, and she suffered an eye injury. I think a bone in her eye, behind the eye or whatever, and she was going to be out of action indefinitely. So all the reports were coming out, and this was legit. This is real. That she currently has this injury. And so when they said she was going to be out indefinitely, it could, go past WrestleMania, with the surgery or whatever. So we were like, okay, well, Rhea's out again because of Liv again. And that's somewhat, cleared the way for this Crown Jewel championship that took place in October in Saudi Arabia when Liv Morgan took on Nia Jax for this Crown Jewel championship. And, it was what it was. And Liv Morgan won that match. And it was a pretty decent match. I'm not even gonna front. It was decent, but I just wasn't excited for Crown Jewel. I never am. I never am. That's why I never review them. I really don't care about Crown Jewel because there's never any storylines that bleed into Crown Jewel. Crown Jewel is a glorified house show, but that's neither here nor there. But anyways, they cleared the way for that without Rhea Ripley being involved in all this here. So the next week on Raw, Liv and Raquel and Dirty Dom, they were celebrating the victory, and they were interrupted by Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill. And they started brawling, between these two. And so I'm like, okay, so they're setting up the women's tag team championship match between these two teams. All right, that's cool. That's cool. So we're going to blow past War Games. I guess War Games is going to consist of some other women, which was fine if that's the way they were going to go. But later that night, a battle royal took place on Raw that determined Liv Morgan's next challenger for her women's world championship. And so during that match, Liv Morgan and Raquel, they had eliminated Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, despite not even being involved in that match. So that ended up costing them, and Io Sky won the match. And so Belair and Jade, they then they defeated Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez the following week on Raw when they challenged them for the championship, for the the tag team championships. And so that pretty much ended that theory that I had leading into Survivor Series. I'm like, okay, so they're doing it on Raw. All right, so I guess they are going to have some type of interaction with the War Games match. And so later that week on SmackDown, Liv Morgan and Raquel, they attacked Belair and Cargill again backstage during the Nia Jax and Naomi championship match for Nia Jax Women's Championship. And so this ultimately cost Naomi the championship because of the influence of Tiffany Stratton and Candice LeRae. And so the next week on Raw, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Naomi, and Io Sky, they confronted Liv Morgan, Raquel, Nia Jax, and Tiffany Stratton, and Candice LeRae before Ripley made her surprise return. And it was a shock. It was a shock. This was the first of two surprise entries into a War Games match. The women had one and the men had one, and we're going to go over that. But yeah, this was a surprise return, and she became the fifth member of Bianca Belair's team for War Games. And the two teams, they brawled, and it set up this epic match. This is probably, as far as matches are concerned, I'm super excited. I'm excited for the men's War Games match for the story. I'm excited for the women's War Games match for the brutality that may take place. This is set up to be a real physical, game-changing match for women's wrestling. I'm so excited for this. I skipped over the Jade Cargill being injured, and she's legit injured. And last I read, it could be a while. And I'm talking this time next year before Jade Cargill returns. She has a possible neck injury that will require surgery. So it is something serious. So prayers up for Jade Cargill. So she is hurt, and that's how Bayley got incorporated into this match. But yeah, there's a lot of factors, a lot of moving pieces here, but I like all the pieces. This is what I enjoy about Triple H's reign as the head of creative here in WWE. It's the long form storytelling. You understand that the Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan story this is something that's has been going on for years. This isn't a pop-up storyline. This is years. We're going to go over another one in a few minutes, our last match. There's a storyline hidden within that bloodline story that's been going on for years. And we're getting payback for it. We finally gonna get some answers to it now. And it's amazing because we haven't got this in the past, especially on the Vince McMahon. We didn't get all this. And so this is a joy. This is a reward for all of the WWE universe who have been following all of these superstars, all of these storylines, all of these premium live events and everything for years, and to get a payback or a callback to something that happened in 2022 or 2021, and you're like, wait, I remember that. Oh, I know where that come from, or an old Steve Rogers quote, like, oh, I understand that reference. It feels good. I'm just over the moon for this. I'm excited for this match. This has the potential to be the match of the night. We shall see. But my pick for the women's War Games match, my prediction, Liv Morgan's team. I think Liv Morgan's team will come out victorious because they're the heels. And I'm going that way because I don't think two heels teams will win War Games matches. And so one of the heel teams got to win. I think it's going to be Liv Morgan's team coming out victorious this year. Now, for a couple of reasons. Number one, with Jade Cargill going down and being out, that means Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill will have to relinquish their women's tag teams championship. So that means Bianca Belair would need something to do. She has to go after something. What championship can she go to replace the gold that she had? That she didn't lose, but she's being stripped of. Well, logically, is to go after the women's world championship and to go after Liv Morgan, because we've done the Liv Rhea Ripley to death at this point. Let's get some air. Let's get some air because we need Rhea to go after Raquel. And so with that being said, this gives Bianca something to do. That gives Liv something to do. And while Rhea and Raquel go at it. Logically. Just thinking logically. There's also a factor in here that we can't forget. Tiffany Stratton is still carrying that Money in the Bank briefcase. With the brutality of this match, with bodies flying everywhere, people being laid out everywhere, will this be the moment? Will tonight be the night Tiffany Stratton cashes in that Money in the Bank contract? The only question is, on who? Will it be on Liv? Will it be on Nia Jax? Now, both of them are on her team. So either way it go, it's dastardly. And so it's going to be, this is going to be the prime moment to cash in that suitcase. I hope it happens tonight. There's a lot there. There's so much meat on this bone. I don't have enough room in my stomach to eat it. It writes itself, people. It writes itself. But I'm excited for this match for that reason. For those reasons, I should say. So that leads us to our final match on the card. It is none other than the men's War Games match. OG Bloodline versus the New Bloodline. And this is the Bloodline. Just when I think that we've done it all with the Bloodline, they find these ways, man. They find these ways to, no pun intended, to inject new blood into this storyline. This is a storyline that had no business lasting for 5 years the way it's been lasting, and keeping everybody interested, keeping the wrestling community at the edge of their seat every single premium live event they're involved with, every single SmackDown that they are popping up on. This has so much going on. So much going on. Of course, Roman Reigns, he's the original tribal chief, the OTC. He returned back to WWE after a few months off following his loss at WrestleMania to Cody Rhodes. He returned to pretty much take out Solo Sikoa and the Tongas and Jacob Fatu in that premium live event to help out Cody. In so many words, he helped out Cody, and that just shocked everybody at that moment. But he's still Roman Reigns. He's still the original tribal chief. It's not because he wanted to help out Cody. It's because he wanted to bend Solo Sikoa over his knee. Like, look, I'm the tribal chief. Well, that started this whole feud. Not to mention that the new bloodline power bombed Paul Heyman through a table a few months earlier, maybe a month earlier from Roman Reigns' return. I could have the dates off. So much going on, but anywho's, so you had the decimation of the wise man and all this here. So he returned. They had a match at Bad Blood, where Roman Reigns teamed up with Cody to take on Solo and Jacob Fatu. Pretty good match. You had The Rock show up after that match, and pretty much for reasons, he just he just showed up to shake his head and leave again. Like, oh, so that's your man's now, and walked out. So you have that. Jimmy and Jay, they reunited, not to the fanfare that I think WWE was anticipating. I guess they were hoping for this big, oh, thank God moment. I think at this point, everybody wanted them to come back together, and because what that match at WrestleMania they had was probably the worst match in WrestleMania history. And at that point, they should have hugged right there and said, you know what? We're brothers, and just let it go. But they reunited. They needed help going up against the bloodline. Now, the new bloodline. This is where it gets spicy. You had the new bloodline kind of courting Sami Zayn, because they know how important Sami Zayn was to the bloodline, even to Solo Sikoa, because let's not forget, when Sami Zayn was a part of the bloodline, Solo Sikoa was there. He was a part of it too. They were all family. And so Solo was trying to court Sami. Sami ended up choosing the OG bloodline. And so we got 4 members now, but it's still 4 against 5. And so now it's the recruitment stage. Cody was asked. Braun Breaker was asked. Seth Rollins was asked. All declined. It comes down to I think it was Jimmy. It was either Jimmy or Jay, I can't remember. And it probably was all 3 of them. They all told Roman, look, let's go back to not Sammy, good Lord, I can't get it out. Let's go back to Rollins. Let's ask Seth again. Y'all have a relationship. I know that it was a bad breakup, but y'all were teammates. Y'all were a part of the Shield. This will work in this match. And the look of disdain that was on Roman Reigns' face when this was suggested to him was like, if looks can kill, all 3 of them will be dead. And so the decision was made, we're going to go 4-on-5. It is what it is. We're going 4-on-5 in this War Games match, whatever. And so this was on SmackDown on the 15th. And so they all come out to the ring. at the end of SmackDown. They're face to face. Solo, and this is probably his best promo that he's had in a while. Solo told everybody on the bloodline, I love you. I love all of you. You are family. All of y'all are family. I don't want to do this. I want y'all to join me. Join the new bloodline. Acknowledge me as the tribal chief, or you will be destroyed. And that was pretty simple. Oh, I'm skipping over another part. I'm sorry. They recruited the bloodline, the new bloodline. They recruited Bronson Reed from Raw. And so with that kind of set the seed that maybe Seth Rollins would join the OG bloodline, because we know that Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed have a feud going on right now. So that logically makes sense. All right, that didn't happen. But for some strange reason, Bronson Reed just fits this bloodline. Fits it perfectly. It was like, man, why they didn't put him in the bloodline before? Even though he's not, part of the family per se. I don't think he's Samoan. I know he's from Australia. I don't know if he's part Samoan or not. He could be, but it's besides the point. Anywho, that leads us to this episode of SmackDown. Roman Reigns and the OG bloodline, they're like, no. All of a sudden, you hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, and I'm going to tell you, I was sitting in my recliner, and I just jumped right up. I was like, Paul Heyman's back. I mean, finally. And it's crazy. When he came back and he said, no, it's not going to be 5-on-4. No, I really, in my head, thought that he was going to say, I'm the fifth member. I never thought it was going to go the way it went. I did not think it. And so when he said it's going to be 5-on-5, and you hear Cult of Personality smash over the speakers, all I can do was stand up and all I could do was clap. I was like, man, this is perfect. This is long form storytelling. This is long form booking. Genius. CM Punk comes out. They start the brawl. They wipe the flow with the new bloodline. The only two left in the ring was Roman and CM Punk, and they're staring each other down. In case you don't know, they don't like each other. Well, it has been documented that Roman Reigns, when CM Punk went off and end up going to AEW and all this here, Roman Reigns made it abundantly clear that he didn't care for CM Punk. Of course, to be fair, that was about 95% of the roster. So I'm not going to put it all on Roman Reigns. But yeah, there's some heat there. When he came back, when CM Punk came back and cut that promo on his second go around, I believe, his second night back or whatever, he mentioned Roman Reigns. He threw Roman Reigns out there, and he made it known, like, just remember, I acknowledge you. You're the tribal chief. I acknowledge you, but you need to acknowledge this. Your wise man was my wise man first. Remember that. And just left it on where they never touched back on that. That was a year, literally almost to the day, a year ago. He made that statement. Fast forward to this edition of SmackDown, when they were in the ring staring each other down, he pointed at Paul Heyman and said, I'm here because of him. That's my wise man. And all I could do was like, wow, this is so foreign to me as a WWE fan that we get this type of storytelling from this company. And let's not forget the implications of CM Punk joining the bloodline. What's that going to do with this build between CM Punk and Seth Rollins? Because that's the rumor for WrestleMania. Rollins and Punk, which was supposed to happen last year, but Punk got hurt. So what's how is this going to factor into that? Because it's going to factor into it in some shape, form, or fashion. Not to mention between CM Punk and Roman Reigns. How is this going to go with the wise man factor? Oh, they're going to fight over Paul Heyman's services? Who knows? I mean, the possibilities are endless. Oh, by the way, you have this young bloodline that's terrorizing as well. So it is so much going on, and I'm loving every minute of it. Now, as far as this match is concerned, like I said before, this is the one I'm excited for because of the storylines involved in it. But I'm also excited for the wrestling. Jacob Fatu. Jacob Fatu is phenomenal. I never seen him before he came to WWE, but you know, I saw some clips on YouTube or whatever because people were talking about him so much. I think this was around the time when he had signed, and because he signed a while back before he actually debuted on television. And so everybody was excited by this signing. Like, oh man, they got Jacob Fatu. Oh, this, that. I'm like, who is this dude? Who is he? You know, so I started looking him up. I saw little clips. I'm like, okay, he's agile for his size and everything. That's nice, but what about him? You know, and when he premiered, he had slimmed down a little bit because he was bigger than what he is now. But he kind of toned up, and he's still as physical, as fast, as agile as before. And I'm like, man, this dude is a beast. He is a beast, bro. And I cannot wait to see him in this match. It's going to be so exciting. As far as the advantage is concerned, you know, there's always an advantage who goes first, and you know, as far as the entries. And so they're going to have a match on SmackDown this Friday to see who will have the advantage going into the match. Jey Uso and Jacob Fatu will have a match to determine which team will have that slight advantage going into the match. So we'll see how that plays out. But as far as the match itself, my prediction for the men's War Games match between the OG Bloodline, which includes CM Punk, and the new Bloodline, which includes Bronson Reed, I'm going to say the OGs. I think the OGs will come out victorious. Now, here's a little conspiracy theory off the cuff prediction. And I'm only throwing this out here in the event. It's a 50-50 shot here. You know, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So I'm going to go ahead and take this shot. What if The Rock shows up at this premium live event and injects himself into this match in some shape, form, or fashion? That will be interesting to see, you know, where he truly stands. We all assume that he has an issue with Roman Reigns and his alliance, or his little brief alliance with Cody Rhodes, who isn't on this show, surprisingly. It's weird that the WWE champion doesn't have a match on this big pay-per-view, this big premium live event. It's kind of shocking, but that's neither here or there. The Rock, will he come in, take out Roman? Will he come in and plant his flag as the tribal chief? We know he's the final boss, but will he plant his flag as the tribal chief and get this young bloodline in line, or get them all in line to have one cohesive unit as a bloodline, which will be probably the most dominant faction in WWE history? Once again, like I said, the possibilities are endless. But as far as this match is concerned, I think that the OG bloodline will come out victorious. But There's only one way to find out. That's to check out Survivor Series War Games this Saturday on Peacock and pay-per-view. I can't wait for this show. This is a Thanksgiving tradition. If after you eat the turkey, you probably got some leftovers. Warm you up some leftovers. Sit down on the couch and check out this show. I am super excited, and I'm going to be even more excited to recap and react to the show, which you would find I think on Sunday I'm going to release the results show from this premium live event, so be on the lookout for that. Can't wait to speak to you all afterwards. Enjoy the show, enjoy your Thanksgiving. I'll catch you on the other side.